Good morning, fellow followers and friends. So we are going to be working in the gardens a little bit, but I am going to be focusing on the turkey tractor today because we need to get the turkeys out. The first thing though is we need to get our potatoes hilled up. Right here, you see I got half the bed done. I still need to finish the other half, and I would like to get some mulch around one of the tomato beds up here as well because they're not very full. However, I'm going to take care of that, but then before I can work on the turkey tractor, I do have 2 fig trees that I do need to get in the ground. So those are going to go in the orchard. Now I kind of changed up my plan for the orchard a little bit. We're just going to kind of plant stuff, not willy-nilly, but kind of. We're going to plant things kind of more, instead of in straight lines, kind of let them curve, put trees in different places, things like that, just so it's a little bit more natural. It'll feel more natural for when we get the ducks because they'll be out in that, they'll have access to the full orchard too. So that's kind of the main plan, is we want to make it as natural for like them as we possibly can too. So we're going to get started. I'm going to get this potato bed hilled up. Now I'm going to tell you right now, this is not enough potatoes for our family. We love potatoes, so this is going to be just a test to see how many we can grow in this one bed, because the bed technically is going to stretch all the way to the back. But we're going to see if this bed will work for that. If it ends up not working, we'll find a new place for them. But focus today is get them hilled up. I know what a lot of people are going to be like thinking in their heads and stuff. So this garden, yes, is filled with a ton of weeds. Now, the reason it is not because I don't know how to keep up or anything like that. It is solely because this garden was never properly taken care of until we moved in. So I am now trying to beat back what has not been done for who knows how long. A lot of this stuff has naturalized in this area. They were growing raspberries at one point. All those raspberries are now naturalized and taking over the woods. We are being taken over by cleavers, which is a medicinal herb. We are being taken over by mint, strawberries, the works. So the process of clearing this garden out, and the way my mind is working in regards to clearing this garden out, is strictly get the garden beds cleaned that I need for food, keep them cleaned, and clear the rest as I go. Now I do have creeping thyme, which is going to be laid down in this garden as well. That will take over and start smothering out the weeds once it gets established. So first up, my focus is just keeping the garden beds cleaned where our food is. And then our focus will become clear the pathways out. Let's get those cleaned up and everything. So all of my focus and energy, I cut down the weeds as much as I can and when I can so that they don't produce seed. But I promise you guys I'm doing the best I can. For a garden that was not properly taken care of previously, this garden is a lot of work. I've already had to do this once at the old house. So I know what work is entailed. the old house, I did the opposite of what I'm doing now, which is I cleared everything out before we planted. This time, my only energy is get things planted, get things in the ground, keep those areas cleaned, and then we'll work on the pathways. We only have, it looks like 3 loofah plants that actually came up, which is fine. So I might just plant one on either side, one over here and 2 on the other side. Just because that way they have plenty of space. So the loofah is planted now. Next up, we are going to actually work on the tomato beds and try to get pretty much as far as we can in regards to all of the rest of the beds made so that we can get things planted, because things are starting to get ready to come outside. For the path in here, I do have on the way creeping thyme to do for the pathways. I want to do a living pathway in a sense, just because that'll keep the weeds at bay. It'll smell really nice to work in here. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, I do have behind me all of those bushes right there that you see kind of those little white flowers on. Those are all raspberries. They are wild raspberries. So I'm going to be digging a bunch of them up. I have family and stuff that wants them. So I'm going to be digging a bunch of them up and transplanting them into pots to bring to them. I have to see if I have any big plastic pots. If not, they'll be getting some of my nice ones and I'll have to get them back at some point. But that's kind of what we're going to do. I might actually, I have a 5-gallon bucket over there. Might actually put some in there to take over. But those are like raspberry plants, a lot of them. And so I'm going to get those out and just start digging stuff up, because I need to extend this garden. Next year, I already know what I'm going to do. We're going to be extending it further that way. And we're also going to be extending it down the hill further, because I know we're going to need to plant more to grow enough foods. I am going to be fighting these wild raspberries for probably the rest of my life. But a lot of these I'm going to leave in right now because we do have family members that want them and I don't know when they're going to want them. So I will kind of let some of these stay. Also, I am keeping a lot of the root systems from the weeds, not the weeds, but the plants that I have been pulling up and stuff, and the leaves that were in here, because I'm going to cover this with a mulch, and those leaves and all of that stuff is going to break down and feed the soil. So that is another reason why some of this stuff is going to be staying.
You know, talking to yourself is a sign of being crazy, right?
Yeah. I already knew I was crazy.
Yeah, trust me, nobody ever doubted it.
So we got another bed ready to go. It just needs the mulch on top. I'm working on another one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to say 6 or 7 more beds to clear out. So it's getting there. I'm kind of working on this back section because that one's the hardest because of all of the raspberries planted. I do have a bucket over here that I've been putting some of the raspberries into because I know one of my family members wants them. So I'm going to get some over to them. But we have so many that I know there's several other family members that want some as well. So we'll get them over. So the nicer ones that I've been clearing out of the beds, I've been putting into that bucket for one family member. And then as we know the rest want them, we'll dig the rest out. But that one I'm going to just be dropping off in the middle of the day to their house. So I want to make sure there was dirt in it. But we got to keep going. I got to get this garden ready because we have all of the tomatoes to transplant because I think we're done with our frosts. The peppers, we are going to wait until probably June, middle of June to transplant, only because I know it's supposed to get down into the 40s a couple more times. And peppers don't like it that cold. So we are going to wait on those. I do know I need to top those, so you guys will probably see that today. A couple of them need to be topped. Pinched off, the tops pinched off. And there's a trick with that. You want to make sure you don't do your larger peppers. So like the poblanos we have, the bell peppers, those we don't want to pinch off the tops. But our small ones we do. So I think they're ready. I'll check them. But let's just keep moving. Keep going. What are you? I don't know what you are. Just to be safe. At some point, all of this is going to get weeded, and I'm going to lay down the creeping thyme, which should be getting here sometime this coming week. But just like I said earlier, right. We are, no thank you, Luna. We are going to get started now. It is the afternoon. I just quickly ate lunch. We're going to get started now on the turkey tractor. So I got my tape measure. We're gonna start this mess of a turkey tractor, get it back to the right perfect angles and all of that. So the goat girls are gonna keep trying to escape. They can't anymore. Crossing my fingers that they can't, but we're gonna get started on this. A couple of the supports, we kind of moved it a little closer to where we're gonna need it. So a couple of the supports actually broke off because clearly they were not held on. I think they were held on with super small nails. So we are going to get those screwed back in, get some more supports added, and just make this thing a lot sturdier. So let's get going. So first up is cutting the supports for the bottom and the top of this. Now, I'm hoping that this all works because honestly, I don't want to have to rebuild one. Not yet, at least. So we're just gonna do the best we got with what we got. I don't know if you can hear that, but one of our chickens or turkeys is literally growling right now. This wood was really wet. So now these two will go into one corner, or the front side, and I'm hoping I can do the supports on the inside of this, so that way it's less bulky on the outside. That is kind of my goal. We'll see how it goes though.
Get it out?
Nope, we're gonna push it this way. There we go. Hammer it down. We're gonna hammer this. Good morning, everybody. So as most of you know, we work, Justin and I both work full-time jobs. So for us to get anything done on the farm, we literally have to work during the weekends as hard and as fast as we can. Sometimes during the weekdays we can get small little things done here or there. For the most part, it is only the weekends that we are able to get any projects done. Well, I did not get as far as I wanted to on the turkey tractor yesterday, as you guys saw. But today, I really can't work on it this morning. We have tomatoes that need to get in the ground. Unfortunately, they got drowned pretty good yesterday due to a rainstorm that came through. So I had to quickly get them out of the sopping wet trays that they were in and get them in, start getting them into the garden. So we are gonna get planted. I have one bed already cleared out, ready to go for the tomatoes. I still have to completely weed out another bed, which is gonna go right here across from our carrots, and then another bed back here, just to get the tomatoes into the ground. We still have a lot of other things that we need to plant as well, but to get these out of the soaking wet basins that they were in, I need to get them planted. So that's what we're gonna work on right now. So right now what we're planting is I'm planting some giant crimson tomatoes, which are all on this side. And then on the other side, we have purple bumblebee cherry tomatoes. And then also Castelluto Florentino tomatoes. Both of these, the giant crimson and the Castelluto, are both slicer tomatoes. So they are really delicious and both easy to grow. The giant crimson though is actually one I got from M.I. Gardner, and they are the only ones that sell this one. It was an extinct tomato until a few years ago when they happened to come across some seeds that they found and tried to grow them, and now they're growing them. So I enjoy these ones. They taste really good too. So my mom actually found this tool. It's like a cutting tool. It actually has measurements on the side so you know how deep to go. She found it for me and she brought it. And the great thing is the hole that this cuts is the same size as these solo cups, which I use solo cups just because they're cheap. So yeah, that was actually kind of a cool find that she did for me. So one more bed is now planted. Now to get the side by side so we can get these other ones weeded, get them planted if we can, and then we'll go and get some mulch. But slowly but surely the garden is coming together. This year's gonna be a rough one, and I already know it because of still learning the soil, still learning the lay of the land. We do know that this garden does get sunlight a majority of the day, even during winter time. So yeah, that is one good benefit. There are some trees that we do need to trim, things like that, but that'll all happen in time.
And I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be yours. I'll be yours. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours.
Well, we did get another bed of the tomatoes done. I'm about to get started on planting the final bed of tomatoes, and then we have to get mulch. However, it is almost dinner time, so I'm going to get these planted, and then we're going to go inside, have dinner, and I will get mulch on all this tomorrow. So my mom came over a little bit earlier, and she was helping Taylor transplant because Taylor is doing a cut flower garden bed. So she was over here for that, but we're going to get these last tomatoes planted and call it a day.